Raul Bad Hotep. What up, everybody? Unknown the Sue here. I'm black at it like a crack at it. Let's talk about it.
You got Stephen Josie, the one and only. Let's get into it.
Get into it.
All right, so for today's video, man, if you guys recall, my brother and I and my mom, we started a little family book club. You know what I'm saying? And for the first book we decided to choose was a book on becoming a real estate investor, and more specifically on multi-unit properties.
So why did you choose this book in the first place? You the one that chose it, so why did you choose this?
Okay, so just to recap, because we said this in the previous video, which we'll link below, which pretty much means we will not link it below.
Yeah, we are.
But the previous video, we chose this video because I want to get into multi-real estate, because it's the only way to build, at least the only way, practical way to build generational wealth.
Yeah.
You buy the property once, you rent it out. You guys know the basics.
All the cool kids are doing it.
All the cool kids are doing
what I'm saying?
So the book that we decided to choose is called The Book on Rental Property Investing by Brandon Turner. You see that? See that? So before I get my thoughts on it, man, let me get how you feel about it, man. What you think about the book?
So when I first purchased the book, I'm usually more of a physical reader, like with the actual book, because this is my copy of the book. Give me the damn book. But I was doing a lot of. You got something to say? Yes. But what happened was I was doing a lot of driving, so I just listened to the audio more than anything. But I would say this: the author, awesome dude. Like his style of writing is very interesting. You actually want to listen to what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? You're not. There's
funny.
And he's funny. That's what I'm saying. He's actually entertaining. Besides learning about real estate and everything, I actually enjoyed the time that I listened to it. But that's only till I got to chapter maybe 5. I was over it. The reason I say I was over because at that point I already knew what we were going to do. So I was going to.
So let's probe on that. At what point?
Probe nothing.
At what point? At what point did you think like, hey? I've heard everything I need to hear.
At chapter 6, I was like, I'm done, bro.
But what?
I'm gonna tell you because when he was listing one of a few methods on how which ways that you could do real estate. I mean, you could do the burr, right?
The burr method.
The burr method. You could be doing and like flipping, all these things, like things I know we weren't gonna do, things that we spoke about not doing. So then, like when the next chapter is gonna talk about that, I was like, bro, I don't want to hear that. I'm not doing any of that. You know what I mean? So that's what I was just like. It was starting getting more challenging to finish the book. Only because I read enough, which is the reason why you shouldn't stop reading the book. But you know what I mean? That's for me why I was pretty much over it.
Oh, so pretty much it's not that, because we'll probably get into that stuff. But that wasn't the first step. We just need, hey, what do you need to do right now?
And let me go.
That's what you're like, yo, forget.
Because like towards the end of the book, it starts mentioning how is it like how to manage property once you own these properties, even if you're doing the burr or flipping or whatever you may be. So learning what he had to say made sense, but like
I got no problem.
Yeah, but other stuff I'm just like, bruh, like. And then it was an hour long.
Yeah.
Like on the Audible that we have, it tells you how long the chapter is. And I was like, an hour to hear something I don't care about right now? Yikes. But I finished it. I think, honestly, probably the first chapter maybe chapter 1 through 6, it was fire. And the last chapter was hella good. When he was just like, bruh, he's like, oh, it's great that you picked up the book. I'm happy that you picked the book up. That's dope. But if you don't apply it, Ray, it's just another book. I was like, bro, that's my homie right there. That's how you talk to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I got from it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm pretty much.
Also, hold on. You need my book back. Also, the beautiful thing about this is because one of the chapters was mentioning about partners. It says we're partners when it comes to this stuff, but obviously we don't know. We never actually done it before. I have a client that like I've been knowing her for decades. She the ride or die homie right there. For years, her and I talk about real estate, but we just haven't done it. But it was cool to finally understand what she's talking about. Because she would mention all these things, and it'll just go over my head. Now, finally, since I finished this book, I actually have an idea about what real estate is about. So I'm actually really curious to have a conversation with her. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, cool. My turn. Yeah, so I definitely agree with them. It doesn't get redundant at any point in the book, but the problem is I'm not very much interested if I haven't done step 1. That's just pretty much how it goes. Like, if I don't own a property, I'm not really interested about how to manage a property, which would kind of make the reading kind of long. Not to say, because every chapter is fire. Believe me, every chapter is fire and valuable. But if you haven't crossed certain threshold, I'm just not interested in really hearing about it. So I agree with Matthew. Now, the chapter that I
ain't going front, but I do want to buy a Class D kind of house, see what it's like.
I do not. So Class D is rating pretty much what he's saying. Hey, I want a house in the hood to see what it's like.
To see what it's like.
I've lived there before. I know what it's like.
You pay rent on time?
Do I pay rent on time?
Did you guys pay rent on time?
We always pay rent.
That's all that matters.
We always pay rent on time.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
You're right, man. You're right. So, boom.
And that's another thing too. That's one thing I mean, obviously I don't know this guy. I can't get into it. But like the thing about places in the hood, yes, the likelihood of the property getting messed up is much higher. But the guaranteed coming or money coming is always going to be guaranteed. Everybody needs somewhere to live at, and people tend to choose these neighborhoods because they're cheaper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but also, you dealing with a certain type of person who, if they don't pay you, and they saying they're not going to leave and all types.
Yeah, I agree. But that's another thing too. I don't understand that, but I think that comes from the screening process too. You mean like you can tell, like let's say like hypothetically speaking, right? Yeah. If a mother comes in with her kids and she's like, I got 5 jobs, blah blah blah, she's probably gonna be good because listen, 5 jobs, she's working hard. House ain't gonna get messed with that much.
Yeah, she could be good, but keep this. I'm with you 100%. Yeah. Keep this in mind. Also, you got to think like, well, what is the screening process like for a tenant renting in a D location? Reason being is because you're going to have to drop your standards at some point
for sure.
Get a tenant in the first place.
For sure.
And them tearing up your property is very high.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm someone with that D property, Brad. Because I know people are gonna be in there. Rest is guaranteed
for sure.
And I just can't imagine it being vacant for too long. And then hypothetically speaking of this, if it is vacant for that long, it's not that much money. You know what I'm saying?
Possibly.
Again, we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
So let me go back.
I told you I was reading that book.
He was on it. All right, let me get back to my portion of it, man. The most important part, man. So one of the I want to say blockades for me getting involved in real estate is what does it take from a credit level? Also, how do you do the property analysis? How do you do your due diligence?
Let me guide. Yep. This is good for the video. Relax. I wish you would do so. We're gonna square up right now. Hey, real talk, bro. So you remember a few weeks ago you were on that you see highly irritated.
Let's talk about what you want to talk about. Come on. Let's talk about what you want to talk about again.
All right, bro. So you remember like a few weeks ago you had that little meeting with that chick about real estate?
Yes.
And you were asking a bunch of questions. After finishing the book, do you realize that she was right with her answers, or do you feel like she was wrong with those answers, or was it necessary at this point? And before you answer that question, explain to them who this person is.
Okay, so it's a lovely lady named Lily Thompson. I will link her videos in the description box. I ain't doing it. But anyway, she's a newbie real estate investor, and she just gives her audience tips along the way. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when you're a vet, there's just certain things you just can't really disclose because you at a different level. You know what I'm saying?
They'll come down for the peasants all the time.
Yeah, so I asked her questions, and truth be told, she was 100% right. And the book actually speaks about everything she spoke about. However, I wasn't at that level yet in the book. So it was new information to me, but the book would have covered it regardless.
Gotcha.
So
that's all I want to know.
It legitimately has everything in there that you need to get started. So one of the blockades for me, as I said before, was property analysis. You know what I mean? I'm just like stuck on that. Like, hey, I want to make sure I do due diligence, so I actually invest in something profitable. Also, the credit thing, and I learned something really important about in the book. It pretty much says this: hey, credit is a tool. It's a tool. You don't have to have perfect credit to invest in real estate. You only have credit to make money in the first place. Therefore, don't
talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, try to build your credit up as best you can, but don't be waiting years and years and years to invest to get your credit up.
So you telling me, are you saying typical black people could buy people credit could buy some real estate?
Well, let's not say that.
You don't talk about
poor people with poor credit. People with poor credit. They can buy stuff too. You don't need to have, it tells you the book, you don't need to have, most people think you need 25% down on the property. That's not necessarily true. And on top of that, there are, as I continue to learn more about real estate, there are down payment assistance programs. There's FHA loans will allow you to put a, 3 to 3.5% down on a property.
And depending on what it is, you can do none actually too.
Yep.
Very hard, but.
Yeah. So, to conclude this video, the book.
Talk to them.
This book is great. And it actually puts a foot in your butthole, you know what I mean, in your butthole to actually get started. Because we don't want to just analyze properties and read books on it. We actually want to make moves. So it's fair to say, man, I want to make a commitment now, man.
I was already willing to, but I'm more willing to now because let's be keep the butt, but I don't really need you.
Nope. Not from the beginning. Not from the beginning.
I really don't need you. Because when we had our own idea, our concept, how we thought it worked, so we had like a partnership in a certain way. Mm-hmm. Knowing we know now, we don't really need to do it that way. Not saying we won't work together or whatever. Obviously, we will, but it's just not how we thought it was going to be. I would say big takeaway, because again, like what they
we talk about house hacking.
House hack, yeah. I was like, I didn't really care about that chapter either.
I cared about. I
remember talking about that before. I was like, bro, we're not doing that.
But we are gonna.
Anyways, here's another thing too why this is very important, because since I was training my client, when I talk to you guys about the real estate, I've been doing it for forever, and I've been talking about getting into real estate for so long. And then, like, mind you, she's been in the game for over 50 plus years, and she's like top tier. And it goes to the point where she's willing to help me because the love and respect she has for me. But I know in her mind, she's like, y'all been talking to this dude for so long. He ain't done nothing. Mm-hmm. So now, again, like I said before, at least now that I can address certain things, let her, like, prove to her that I'm serious about doing this.
We got the knowledge.
Yeah, we got the knowledge to be like, hey, I done stuff for myself instead of just asking you 1,001 questions and not doing anything with it. So I got the ammo locked and loaded to have this conversation, and she's probably gonna be our realtor at some point. So
definitely.
So with that being said, good book,
great book.
I'm kind of curious what other book he got. I won't pick it up anytime soon, but if you put it on the family book club, then I definitely gonna read it. But
first things first is let's do everything this book says first, and then we'll get more deeper into it. So
let's give, before we gave our perspective, let's finish off with probably say this in the beginning, a review on the book.
Okay, a review. All right, so let's wrap it up with a review. My opinion, this book, out of 10, I give it a 9.5, and then as I go further down the real estate path, I give it an 11 because it's just that good. Yeah. It's a great book, great read. This dude is entertaining. Mm-hmm. He's funny. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You really can't ask for more, and and it's informative. You can't ask for more in a book.
How much that book cost me?
This book cost
me. It cost me. I think
it's like $30. Maybe
$30, yeah. Oh, for the small $30, you get this real estate knowledge. I liked it, like I said before. Like even knowing that I feel like I read enough or listened to enough, and I want to continue. The author was entertaining enough and gave enough information and wanted me to stay on track and finish reading the book. I could have easily said, "Yo, Steven, I read the whole book."
Yeah, 1 through 5 could have been done.
I could have said that, but I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna keep listening to it because it's still good." So I give this book a 5 out of 5 due to the fact that, again, he's entertaining. It's not like he's not saying anything complicated. That's one thing that's one thing I did like about this guy. Like, he didn't say anything that's either like so complicated to where you have to go look it up.
Yo, it's mad simple.
Yeah.
That's like, a real turn off. Real estate being too complex.
Exactly. It was like, this is like probably the book for dummies when it comes to real estate. But you leave with the confidence and saying that you got all the stuff.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we got another book club coming up soon. I'm probably gonna get the book tomorrow. Stay tuned for that video. This is Known the Suit. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, like, share. Anything else before we close it out?
Nah, man. Thanks for watching. Peace.